Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Final Whistle here on the Bama Standard, your number one spot for Alabama football content with all the context here on the Bama Standard Network. As always, hit that like, subscribe button. But this is The Final Whistle. We give you everything, jokes, humor, X's and O's, massage parlor jokes. We do it all with my rowdy bunch of brothers, the Crimson Avengers. We're down to 4 right now. We probably got some other guys coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, back from last week. We missed him. Chris James, glad to have you back, sir. How are you?
What's going on? I'm good, man. Good. Just ready to get this show rolling, man. Miss you guys, man. Let's get it.
Glad to have you back. And right above him, this guy is just everything to the Final Whistle. Debo, Thor, he does it all. Roll loose, Final Whistle analyst, Lushawn Graves. How are you?
I'm great. I'm ready. I'm so excited right now, and I'm going to reserve my excitement for some of the topics we got tonight, but I'm telling you, y'all, it's going to be a great show, and we do got help on the way. So have no fear because the Avengers of the Final Whistle are here. Let's go, baby.
We are here. And ladies and gentlemen, 3 weeks in a row.
Daniel, what's the name from Cobra Kai?
Just like Metz got it from me.
He got it from you.
Metz got it from me.
Representing Miyagi though.
Y'all are getting full petty Orlando Disney World attire. This is my 7-head block. I'm sorry that I'm fully dressed in 1980s U attire. It looks like I'm supporting Walsh and Jimmy Johnson down there. But
Daniel's son.
You look like you're about to go alligator hunting.
Yeah, barefoot. How many pythons did you catch today down there in the Everglades?
At least 4.
You have to talk in your Australian accent. Well,
one I caught and I realized.
Crikey.
One I thought I caught and I realized I was just going to the bathroom.
Awesome. Yes, the real man is. I'm Team Cobra Kai, so this is gonna be a problem.
I get you. I feel you. I mean, Daniel is the villain. So what are you, team good guy, you weenie?
Whoa, shots fired.
Shots fired.
Man down.
Listen, this is the Final Whistle, and we would not be here without our wonderful sponsors at workspacesolutions.com. If you want to increase, improve, highlight your digital online presence like Daniel Petty's shirt, go to workspacepros.com. That is workspacepros.com. Talk to the people over there at Workspace Solutions. They know how to take care of you guys for your digital online presence. So go to workspacepros.com. That is workspacepros.com. So, guys, shouts out to the comment section. Van Edwards, Ephraim Davis, Daniel Berry Sports Highlight, getting that chat. Chris Williams, the Auburn fan, is
Chris
always
Williams,
here.
my boy.
Boy, Chris in the house.
Listen, Chris, you couldn't walk and clock in for 10 minutes in my steel toes, bro. I'm telling you what. Talk about put steel toes on somebody's neck.
I got an orange just for you tonight, Chris.
You go, Paul.
I think that we should extend an invitation to Chris Williams to come on this show instead of just being there in the chat, running all his mouth there. I think it'd be great to have him on here to
come on, Chris.
Back it all up. Chris, I tell you what, man, I got you covered. You can email me, justinriley@thebamastandard.com. We'll get you on the show next week. Link everything. We'll have a great time. How about it?
Bring it, Chris.
Picking trash
That'll be fun.
on the side of the road. Whew. I don't think so.
No, it's
my boy.
Well, guys,
Auburn colors.
One thing Alabama is not unknown to is dominating Auburn on the recruiting trail, guys. Alabama has had some recent success. You know, the past couple weeks we got Keelan Russell. This past weekend we got Chuck McDonald committed to the University of Alabama Crimson Tide, the 4-star DB out of modern day high school, the big time school, high school out in California. And guys, today, breaking news, Mal Waldrop committed to the Crimson Tide, highly regarded interior offensive lineman coming to the Crimson Tide. And I'm going to start with Chris. Just, you know, he does a lot with high school recruiting. He knows he's the unofficial GM, just like Lushawn and Patty and all the guys. Just kind of give us your instant analysis reaction to Chuck McDonald and then do Mal Waldrop.
Well, Bama hit another home run out in California at Mater Dei High School as they continue to build that pipeline to one of the best high schools in the country. Chuck McDonald, man, he's a guy that could play early in his career. He's kind of like a Xavier Brown as far as very technical, refined. He's coached up very well, man. The guy makes plays on the ball. He does it all. He's all over the field. He's solid in run support. He can play zone. He can play man. He's big. He's physical. He can run, and he has an SEC frame. And he's somebody that that no later than year 2 should be ready to contribute to our secondary. Man, I'm very excited about him. He's a top 100 talent, man. Overall, he's just another one of those corners, man, that Bama's been signing for the last 2 decades. Just another big physical corner that can run and that can do it all, man. I'm very excited about him. He's no backup. He's no insurance policy. He's a top of the board type of DB, man, that any school that was very coveted that any school would want. And Mal Waldrop, he's huge, man. He's nasty. He plays with great pad level. He's versatile. He can play anywhere along the offensive line. He plays left tackle for Central Phoenix City. He's 6'5", 325. That's huge, man, for a kid that's going into his senior year. So he probably could stand to grow another inch or two. Bama expects to play him on the inside to pair along with the commit Carroll that we got the other day. So man, that's Tim Watts, who's a good friend of mine, said today that this Alabama offensive line has the chance on paper to be the best one that Bama's ever signed. Think of that. Think of all the offensive lines that we've signed. And for Kalen DeBoer to come in year 1 and potentially have the best offensive line that Bama's ever signed, that's unfathomable. You know, that's crazy. But his dad, Mal's dad, played at Bama with me from 98 to 02. Played 3 years with me, so he had some ties to Dabo Swinney. So that's why Clemson was there in the mix to the end. About a month ago, everybody thought that he was a heavy Clemson lean. So Clemson was in the picture. If it wouldn't have been Bama, it would have been Clemson definitely for him. You also had Florida and Tennessee in the picture. So he's a high level guy. He's a big time Power five guy, man. That can his rankings. He's I think 247 is the only site that has him ranked as a 4-star. But he's somebody that I expect to. What's up, Dan? He's somebody that I expect to kind of continue to climb up the rankings after this summer evaluation and senior season. I expect him to end up as a solid 4-star. But he's a good pickup, man, for Bama, man. He's somebody that to be excited about, guys. He's somebody to be excited about, and the fact that he's playing against 7A ball in Alabama on that level at a winning program, those type of kids tend to translate earlier to being ready to play early in their career. So he's somebody that's an instant depth guy that can come in, and push that O-line room.
I like it. Dan, glad to have you back. Dancing Dan is our lead recruiting analyst, fresh from the banquet hall. Dan, just jump right in. Discuss Chuck McDonald and Mal Waldrop. Your instant reaction.
Okay. Well, you're forgetting one now. Michael Carroll. Have we discussed him yet?
No, we haven't. Chris talked about him a little bit. Talk about Michael Carroll as well.
Okay. All right. We'll start with Chuck McDonald. You know, he comes from a excellent program, you know, modern day. You know, I like his size. One thing that stands out, you know, is his closing speed, you know, his ability to break on the ball. You know, I think he's an ideal, you know, field corner. You know, I love his versatility, you know, play in the slot, play on the island. Michael Carroll, let me tell you this. You know, this guy, this is my opinion. I think this guy here is the best offensive lineman in the country right now.
Wow.
Oh. You know, in this class, the best offensive lineman in the country. That's how I feel about him. Kind of, you know, I put him in the mold of Landon Dickerson. He can play inside, outside, you know, huge. Love his frame, you know, his length, he's very lean. You know, he has the ability to be able to play tackle or guard, you know. I love his athleticism, you know, hands down to me. I think he's the number one offensive lineman in the country. I think we got a tremendous pickup in this guy. Mal Waldrop, you know, Bama legacy. I was surprised about his size. You know, he measured in, I think, on the OV at 6'5", 325 pounds. You know that's pretty impressive. Like I heard Chris say, you know, 7A ball in Alabama. You know, competitive nature. I think he suffered a torn labrum. You know, and so. You know, he was offered by the previous staff, you know, so Dabo was after him hard. You know, I think his dad played
3 years.
Yeah. Yes, his dad played 3 years at Bama, you know, so
under Dabo.
Under Dabo, you're right, correct. And so, you know, so I mean, he's another versatile guy. He can play outside, but I think, you know, his ability to play center or guard, I think that's what Bama likes him at. But those are three massive pickups. You know, now, you know, we're starting to address the offensive line. You know, so hey, we're getting the boys in the trenches. So Lou, I know you're loving that. You know,
hey,
man, let me tell you.
Yeah, let's make no mistake about it. You know, this is where the game's still won at, you know, so huge pickup.
Let me,
Chris, then we'll go to Lou.
Let me give you a comparison to Mal Waldrop. I'll give you a comparison to Mal Waldrop. Think of Bradley Bozeman.
Yeah.
Like that's what the type of player you would get on the interior. More of a Bradley Bozeman. A big guy, a tall guy with good bend.
I like it. Lou Sean, you the trench god over here on the Final Whistle. Give us your take on all three of these talented guys that are committed to the Tide.
All right, we can keep this short and simple because I like to keep it sweet. Chuck McDonald, the thing that Dan even alluded to, besides everything they've already said, is his closing speed. But to me, it's his decisiveness to the ball. And we're going to talk a lot more about that if y'all keep tuning to us. We're going to get real nasty when it comes to the nomenclature, what we're talking about when it comes to football. But this dude's football IQ, automatically, to me, that's what flashes off the chart about Chuck McDonald. And plus, you keep the train going. Jackson, you know, Brown. Now we got McDonald. Who knows who they're going to turn out next? But, you know, that's what you call pipeline. I love that. Michael Carroll, I haven't been this excited about an offensive lineman probably since Landon Dickerson. He's got the personality that old football coaches used to call elite offensive linemen as the dancing bear. And to a whole lot of people, that might mean something soft, but to us old school people that know what we're talking about, the Dancing Bear is a violent individual. And like Dan said, I agree, Dan. I think that he's going to make an impact when he gets here regardless, because he's just violent and he loves to play the game, and he's a student of the game most importantly. And this third guy, Waldrop, I like him because of his versatility. I like him because of his energy. And I like him because of the reason he came to Alabama. You have that strong of a mentality and you're not even here. I like that energy. That's how you keep an offensive lineman group together right there. That's lightweight captain energy, and I like that. So, you know what I'm saying? All three of these commits are important, but they're not going to be the last three. Like Courtney Morgan said, it's about to be a cold summer, so you might want to button up. It's going to be hot. Obviously, it's hot. It's hot where Petty at.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? The rest of the country, you might want to buckle up.
Dang your son.
I've been to Disney 3 days. What y'all don't realize is when I take this tank top off, there's a solid white one under
it. Petty going to bust out in the melody in a minute.
Petty over there doing curls with the dumbbell over there, doing a workout video.
I was doing push-ups for the show.
Petty,
you got a spray bottle.
Give us your take.
DeBoer can't recruit in the South, though, right?
That's what they say.
He can't. DeBoer can't recruit. He's just adding to, like, look, man. Okay, so one of the deals with taking over a Saban team is you're taking over a loaded team. Well, he's taking over a loaded team and just add more ammo to it. I mean, it's just we've already got an unbelievable freshman class coming in the secondary with Mincy and Bakwe, all those kids. And then you're bringing in another 6'1", 190-pound prototype out of modern day, which is just breeds athlete. You know, it's the dude's just showing his recruiting chops, and he's adding to an already loaded room. And then you add 2 offensive linemen. And look, man, we know how you win in the SEC. You win in the trenches. And he's bringing in, like, I can't add to what y'all said. Sounds like this Carroll kid's going to be the real daggum deal. And, you know, that's what it takes to get it done. But more than anything, it's just so daggum impressive that DeBoer's coming in here. And it's, I mean, you know, one of the things that made Bama football so exciting in Matt's final year when Saban first got here was that recruitment buzz, man, bringing in all these freaks and the first thought was, all right, DeBoer's coming in here, he can coach, but he ain't going to be able to recruit like Saban. So, I mean, there's going to be some drop-off, man. He's like you just said earlier, Lou, this might be the best daggum class we've had yet. It's really impressive, man. It's a lot to be excited about. He just keeps it rolling.
Hey, Petty. Petty. Warriors, come out and play.
Y'all, hey, look, we're going to do a giveaway. I'll sign these for all y'all, you know. Y'all sign up to my farmersonly.com account, and the 100th signer, I'll give an autograph headband.
Even if it's somebody from Auburn.
Oh man, even if Chris Williams signs up 100 times.
Jordan Kane, $4.99, Matt.
Hey, we're still waiting on an answer from Chris Williams about coming on the show. So Chris,
he don't want to smoke.
We're waiting.
Ephraim.
Oh man, Jordan, thank you.
Damn, Van.
Hey, Van throwing haymakers. Petty looks like the white man actually can't. Jordan Kane shouts out. Jordan Kane says, Petty.
We can't. Why do you think they cheer when the little white dude comes in the basketball game at the end of the damn game? Because they can't jump and they hope to God he can shoot a 3. Shoot the damn thing. Get it and shoot it.
Tell Porzingis, boy, because he's killing stuff right now.
Oh man. Listen, Petty with the headband looks like 13 bench warmer on the basketball team. Shouts out to Jordan Kane. Yeah, keep them coming. Let's see who got the best roast of the night.
Don't leave them open.
But let's kind of chill on this topic. I want to go to our lead recruiting analyst. Lushawn kind of alluded to it a little bit. Petty mentioned Saban recruiting DeBoer. Dan, where does Alabama go next? What are you kind of hearing? Excuse me. You think the offensive line is going to continue to fill up? What is some of the buzz that you're hearing? I know receiver Lockett out of Texas is going to take an official visit. Just kind of want to get your thoughts. So how many more linemen are we going to take? Just want to give your thoughts regarding this O-line recruiting and just recruiting overall.
Okay. I think I expect Alabama, to assign a full offensive line class. So that leaves room for 3 more if they're the right ones. They've hit on 2 big targets, so they're still looking at the tackle position. You got guys like that's still out there. Ones I'm looking at, Ty Hayward. Douglas Utu has been very quiet, since his visit, so he's kind of hard to read. But I think we'll keep chipping away there. I think that recruitment will continue to go into the fall. It's probably going to take another visit for him. We still got guys out there like we're playing catch up with. David Sanders. Jackson Lord, we still sitting in a good spot. He's supposed to be coming I think it's the 21st.
Michael DeBose.
Ohio State, was making a major push for, Jackson Lord. So, I think, we get him back on campus. I think we can seal the deal there. We got Michael DeBose, the in-state guy. He's huge. We're battling LSU. I think the main competition there. But one big name I want Alabama fans to kind of get used to is Dawson Merritt. He's a guy, prototypical guy that was built to play the Wolf. I think he's Bama's number 1 guy. They zeroed in on him as the Wolf. This is the guy we want at Wolf. So he's our number 1 target at that position, and I like where we sit with him. We're battling Nebraska. But hey, like Courtney Morgan said, man, it's gonna be a cold summer. We're not waiting around. We getting these evals done. We're getting guys on campus early. We're in a much better spot than we've been in previous years. This early in the process. So, and this staff has done an excellent, outstanding job of getting guys on campus to visit. So we're gonna keep going. We got another weekend visit of official visitors coming in this weekend. But also, I want another name I want to start looking at. I think we're making a real big move with is Ivan Taylor, the Notre Dame commit out of I think it's Winter Garden, Florida. I like him. We're looking at him as a safety, so. We've got a lot of options, and it's not slowing down in Tuscaloosa.
Let's go. Anybody else want to discuss what they're kind of hearing? Lushawn, Chris, Patty?
He said it all.
He said it all. Let's go. So let's shift gears from the recruits to this Alabama Crimson Tide. But first, let's look at this comment from Real Van Elwers. Petty's going to go Ninja, go vibes. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Secret of the Ooze, looking boy. Oh man, listen, let me get
solid sequel.
I said Petty looks like on 51st Dates, the brother who was juiced up, talking about look at my pecs, look at my pecs,
look at my pecs.
I'm still gonna say Brandon Frazier and Encino man.
Encino man.
No squeezing the juice.
Chris James, you say you gotta take a couple of your honey packs and wake up, man.
Nah, man, I'm under the weather, man. A stomach bug, dude. So that's fun.
You gotta cook the chicken all the way, man. When you put it in the crock pot, you can't just put it on super high, man.
It's gotta be dead too. You can't cook a live chicken then try to eat it, Chris.
I gotta leave them pork rind sandwiches alone.
Oh man, that is country. That is some country stuff.
Deep fried pork rind sandwiches. I'm just joking.
Oh man,
homemade too.
Gourmet pork and rings.
Chris Williams says, look like he tore down the curtains down to make the shirt. Is it the curtains that Hugh has up in his office from the parlor? Is that the curtains you're referring to, Chris?
God, no, Petty.
No, those curtains in Hugh's office got like some like Asian like white design in the background. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
a yin and a yang.
Yeah.
You walk in and music just.
Hey, you walk in Hugh Freeze office, you hear that Asian music, that little with the time.
Like
and he's definitely laid out on a table right as soon as you walk in, and he got to
have a seat.
Like, what do you need?
He'll tell the masseuse. He'll tell the masseuse, that's enough right now. Thank you.
Hit that inner thigh.
Oh, man. All right. Speaking of that's enough, we're going to get back on topic and go to our next topic.
Nice.
Let's get to the Crimson Tide. This year's football season, guys. A lot of excitement from momentum, DeBoer, Lank mentality. Guys, let's talk about, we're getting closer. I think we're less than 80-some days from kickoff. Alabama starting off against Western Kentucky. Let's get into the season. Let's continue to break down this recruiting class. Sorry, my bad. I was going to go to the team, but let's break down this 2025 linebacker class. Like I said,
put the big screen on Dan.
Yeah, Dan.
Put the big screen on Dan.
The floor is yours. We got Luke Metz. We got so many athletic guys. Kind of break down each linebacker and how do you view them position-wise? You on mute?
You're muted, Dan.
Sorry. Talking inside guys, I like this class a lot. I thought I was the guy. Okay, there we go.
I thought I was the guy.
All right,
you are the guy, Dan.
Yeah. So right now, you know, we it's kind of a situation where we have a lot of overkill here, which is a good thing. You know, we're addressing the position because when DeBoer took over the roster, you know, he didn't have his type of linebackers, which I'm saying the 4-2-5 linebackers that he was looking for. So he overturned the roster. That's why we lost certain guys. But he's addressing it in this class. You know, we got Luke Metz, Jaedon Harmon, Abduall Sanders, and who else we're missing? Duke Johnson, Darrell Duke Johnson. So those are four guys, you know, where most classes, you know, you be done at this position.
Myles Johnson.
You know, we have, you know, still a couple of targets. Two left. You know, I want to people to know you got Jaden Perlotti, who's a Georgia commit, and we have Ty Jackson, who is, I believe, is the most physical linebacker out of the class, and the second one, to him, only one that's I think is more physical than Jaedon Harmon. So those two guys, you know, are the biggest hitters in the class. But I think we could possibly go out there, you know, add one of those two. And I think we'll be definitely done with adding one more. It's just a matter of, you know, those are two that consider to be too good to pass up. So, you know, I like where we're sitting at the linebacker class, you know, and there's a running joke where, you know, can he play linebacker? Because we were taking so many linebacker commits, but hey, you never have too many. And we still also have Myles Johnson, who I do not expect to stick. You know, so we should be done. You know, we lose Myles Johnson. You know, we pick up a Ty Jackson or a Jaden Perlotti. I think we'll be done.
Okay. And Dan, while you're, you know, the expert analysis on this, can you talk about the versatility? I know you mentioned just now, a few minutes ago, how possibly, you know, we can take so many linebackers. Is it more of a, you know, type of versatile linebacker that can play outside as well as inside? Or, you know, kind of what DeBoer is looking for in, you know, linebackers for his system, Kane Womack's system?
Well, with, as far as the inside linebacker, I don't think it's the versatility that they look for is when it comes to inside linebacker. This is a position they want to address. Outside linebackers, the wolf. You have the hybrid safety, the husky position. So, but as far as inside linebackers, these guys are considered inside backers. But Jaden Pilates, he's intriguing prospect because I think he's the only one out of the ones I named that could actually be able to play both. Similar size to Dawson Merritt. He's 6'3", roughly 200 pounds. So I think he could be able to play either or, the wolf or the inside linebacker, just because he's so athletic.
Thank you. LaShawn, would you give your stab at this, breaking down our linebacker class? I know you're excited about any type of physical thumpers on the defensive end. Just give us your analysis, sir.
Absolutely. So, I'll start with Daryl the Duke Johnson. This dude's an aggressive football player. I would say, in my opinion, he's probably the best pure athlete of the four that, I'm going to get into, minus Myles Johnson, like Dan alluded to. I don't think he's going to end up sticking around. But as far as Daryl Johnson goes, man, he possesses like a hyper fast speed when it comes to being his lateral movements, which makes him like very, very, very efficient when he cuts in his direction of the ball. And he's a very physical tackler. He's not the most physical tackler we're going to talk about, but he's still at the same time in this Kane Womack defense. He's exactly the type of player you want. He's kind of got the same athleticism as you would say, maybe not comparable to the size, but athleticism like a Deontay Lawson, because he also plays the offensive side of the ball, which I would say he's probably the most, like I said, the best pure athlete out of the group. Then, like Dan said, Jaedon Harmon is by far the most hardest hitter out of these four, in my opinion. The dude's just explosive. He's a headhunter. If you got the ball, you better just hang on, because the dude's going to rock you no matter if you're in the backfield, pass coverage, anything. And he's flat out going to make a play around the ball physically. And he's got the tools, and he's smart, and he's from Georgia. So I love when we get a guy from Georgia. Then my personal favorite guy of this group, Abduall Sanders, modern day. Like I said before, the pipeline. This guy is a ball hawking linebacker. And in this defensive scheme that we're about to open up into in the future, Alabama defense, this is the type of guy you want playing to one of the first two guys I alluded to. You're going to need a guy that can be in pass coverage. You're going to need a guy that can be physical. And you're going to need a guy that can hold up to the point when a lineman comes to stuff him in the hole. Which leads me to the last guy I'm going to talk about, Luke Metz. This guy doesn't have the highest ratings. A whole bunch of people aren't talking about him, but I guarantee you by the end of the season, people are going to be talking about him. This dude is a very instinctual ball player. He's physical at every point. He's very smooth in his movements, which allows him to be explosive at the point of attack and to take on blockers in the hole. They're not expecting him to be as athletic and as quick and explosive as he is. Guys, basically what I'm saying is this linebacker class is elite, and it's going to get better because, as Dan said, it ain't over for us in recruiting, guys. It's only going to get better. And in this Kane Womack defense after this season, people are going to see exactly what we're planning on doing for the future of these Alabama linebackers.
Patty, do you have anything to add? Do you want to, since you're at Disney, do you want to do Disney character comparisons to any of these linebackers?
We'd have to go villains. Good gracious,
man. Villains all day.
Lion King villains, hyenas, and led by Scar, right?
All right, yeah.
You're talking about a linebacking core that's already 3 deep. You're talking about guys like Quay Russo's that's 3 deep on that depth chart, and you're adding 4 blue chip linebackers to it. And going back to what I said earlier about DeBoer, man, the recruiting chops to modern day all the way to Georgia, man, pulling 3 blue chips out of Georgia and then a stud out of California. It's just, he's laying that footprint all the way across the country. Dude's recruiting. And again, it's adding that linebacking room is stupid already, and you're bringing in depth like that. The competition's only going to just be unreal. Oh man. Again, guys, I say this. I was looking at doing the little bit of studying I could do on the Disney bus getting here, looking at depth charts, looking at recruiting, and knowing what DeBoer has. And look, guys, I don't think it's much of a secret. And if you don't know this, I am a Bama grad, but I'm a big Ole Miss fan. And there's a lot of hype around Ole Miss right now. But I think there's a lot of pretender. The more I look into Alabama and the more that I see that Alabama's in that third, fourth position, they got Georgia and Texas and then Ole Miss and Bama and then LSU and Tennessee. I think Bama may be a little bit underrated, guys. I was talking before the show. I think I'm not going to be shocked if this team pulls off an SEC championship this year. It's just it's the way DeBoer can coach, what he's walking into with the defense, and people are gonna kind of be. I don't think there may not be that fear factor because Saban's not on that sideline, but it's going to be there by a few weeks into the season because, man, this team is just flipping ass loaded. I couldn't add to what Lou and Dan are going to say about what these kids can do on the field. I mean, they said enough, but just know that more damn blue chips are coming, and this is going to look exactly like the Alabama you've seen for the past 2 decades.
Chris, give us some play.
Give us. That was the second linebacker I talked about.
He talked about
with that comment. Yeah, that was the second linebacker I talked about.
Chris, give us some player comps. You know, unofficial GM. I know you got mentioned Mel Waldrop. So I'm gonna give you a name. We're gonna give you a name. Give me a player comp. Luke Metz.
Luke Metz is I kind of say like a Dylan Lee almost, but he's more on the end, like kind of long. You remember how athletic Dylan was? Like I believe Dylan Lee could have actually played on the inside in college, and I believe he would have been even a better inside linebacker. Long, slender guy that's just athletic. Yeah. He kind of remind me of Dylan Lee. Abduall Sanders. That's CJ Mosley all over again. CJ Mosley all over again.
Who is it?
Athleticism. Abduall Sanders.
Oh, Abduall Mosley.
Yeah. Okay. That's CJ Mosley all again. Oh, Jaedon Harmon, that's tough, man. Man, that's tough. Damn, the way that joker hit, man, he's a missile, man. I really we haven't had one of those in Bama in a while, man.
I say probably the biggest hitter probably since I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Mac Wilson.
Oh,
yeah.
See, I thought Mac Wilson, except he's got more of a physical, like Mac could hit, and don't get me wrong, Mac could hit, but he's got more of a sticky hitting style with him. Like Mac would hit you, but a lot of people bounced off Mac's hits because Mac wouldn't finish it. And that was my biggest beef
for not wrapping up.
But, right. But Harmon, I have not seen anybody get up after 30 seconds after getting hit by that dude. That dude gives me like Mark Barron hitting like
Reuben.
Like, no, I wouldn't say Reuben Foster because he ain't that big yet. I would say a more of a Mark Barron type because you know what that one hit, y'all know what I'm talking about on his highlight when he came.
Jordan Rogers.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more D'Amico Ryans.
D'Amico was powerful.
No.
D'Amico was like
powerful.
But D'Amico wasn't just huge.
Harmon's violently just quick, and when he hits you, it's just it's a man.
Dan, Mike Applin, Dan.
Oh yeah.
a guy from the local guy, yeah.
I would say Mark Barron for me because that's the only person that had that downhill of a just definite. Oh, you're gonna get hit. Oh, you're in the backfield, you're getting hit. Oh, you're on the sideline, you're getting hit. Oh, you're in the middle of the field, you're getting hit. I'm decking you wherever you're on the field, and I haven't seen that from anybody. I mean, Reuben Foster was different. You gotta be him to get that comparison from me because that's up here. So you know what I'm saying. But Harmon, yeah,
Harmon's not far behind, right?
No, he ain't far behind, but
right.
I gotta say he starts popping people in crimson. I'm gonna be like, okay, 10. You can actually wear that
Mark Barron wasn't far behind Reuben. Mark wasn't far behind Reuben.
Right. That's Mark what I'm saying. But like
the hardest hitting safety, Mark hit even harder than Landon Collins.
Oh, for sure. But that's why I said like Mark Barron, because Reuben Foster was the man. He was different. That dude had Newports.
I'll give it one off season. Harmon gained weight. One off season, man. That's all it takes. Dan will tell you about the time I came home my first time from college.
Yeah, however long it takes to get the deer antler formula right.
Chris, what about
Duke Johnson's so athletic, man. He's from around our area, our area down here in South Georgia, and he's just versatile, man. Like the guy can play on the line, he can play he's just athletic, man. Like it's crazy to see who's more athletic between him and Abduall Sanders.
Right.
That's a tough one. Because dude, like we got two athletic linebackers.
Who play offense or defense. Yeah.
Realistically, we got 4 real athletic linebackers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I watched the film today, all back to not to interrupt you, Chris, but like they're all just
guys.
It's a special group.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. And the thing about it, you're not gonna have to sub out when they're on the field. Like when teams try to catch you in a no huddle, you're not gonna get caught running guys off to the sideline because they can just adjust to whatever we want to run.
No, Lou, I'm not joking. I was doing research for the show tonight, and I literally in the middle of it, I said kind of audibly out loud, sitting on the bus, this team may win the damn national title this year.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me, man. Like,
it wouldn't shock me at all.
Like you look at our opponents, man. Like what team in the country scares you? There's nobody this year. Like I know Ohio State loaded up, but Ohio State does that every year, man. Like they load up every year.
And those those dudes that bark from Georgia don't scare the A.
They're in for a rude awakening. I think the SC hurt Georgia.
The adult barkers don't scare the A.
Think about Georgia, man.
They're coming. They got to drive.
Hey, when I hit,
Williams,
when we hit,
dude with Carter.
Hey, when I hit Jalen Waddle celebration September 28th after the game, the country's gonna know.
Speaking of, listen. Well, when Alabama hits and grinds those pads against the opponents, wiping the sweat, they're gonna need a tighter towel to wipe the sweat while they're dominating Georgia in Tuscaloosa in Bryant-Denny, 7:30 that night. So go to wetwillsports.com. That's wetwillsports.com. Get you an amazing crimson title towel. That way you can be in Tuscaloosa, Bryant-Denny, under the lights, waving that crimson title towel in Bryant-Denny. So use the promo code STANDARD. That's STANDARD. So, guys, let's go to our next topic. I kind of tried to skip over, jump right to it. Guys, let's talk about Alabama. DeBoer offense. You look at what he did up in Washington, Michael Penix, Romeo Duzier. The list goes on and on. I'm going to start right here. Does Alabama have two 1,000-yard receivers? And I'm gonna go around the horn. Chris, Patty, Lushan, Dan. Chris, start us off and give us your names. Who are those two 1K receivers gonna be?
After seeing what we saw, Bernard definitely is one of them. The question is, who's going to be the second? Is it going to be? I think that Law is going to get all-purpose yards. You get what I'm saying? I think they're going to drop stuff for him, and he's going to get a lot of all-purpose yards. But I think it's going to be between Kobe Prentice and Ryan Williams. Who that second guy is? I think Bama will have 3 guys with over 800 yards receiving.
Easily.
Easily. Like and especially if you add in the extra games, those playoff games, those games not that you add in through the season, so we make it all the way. We'll push that easily because I think didn't Washington almost have 3 guys with 1,000 yards?
Yeah.
Wasn't it McMillan and Oduzade and Pope was close or something like that, or vice versa? So yeah. But the thing about it, man, what I think we got a chance to have 2,000-yard receivers and 1,000-yard back.
Yeah.
Yeah, with ease. Patty, give us your two, sir.
I echo Chris with Bernard. That guy showed me what he needed to in the spring game. He's going to be the dude. Prentice maybe be the other one, but yeah, Prentice or Law. But I think again, easily, I think they're going to be 2,000. They had 3 last year at Washington. We could easily have 3, but if not that, I think you could see that deal where there's 4 or 5 guys in the 800 to 700-yard range too, with Caleb Odoms, Ryan Williams, Law, Prentice. You're just going to have so many options. It could be a situation where you see, you look at that SEC top receiving list and see like 5 guys back to back in the 10 to 12 range that are all 800-900-yard guys, because there's just so many guys to get it around to. But absolutely, I think Bernard's going to be one, and I'm going to say Prentice is the 2.
Lushawn.
I don't think so. And here's why. Kalen DeBoer is not the normal coach. He's an offensive guy. Nick Sheridan is an actual former quarterback. So as a former quarterback, you're thinking, yeah, I could have a main guy, and I could have a supplement main guy, and I could even have a guy I like to go to on occasion. But what if I had 5 guys? What if I had 6 guys? What if I had 6 receivers I could throw the ball to? And that's just receivers I could throw the ball to. And what if I had 3 running backs I could give the ball to that you knew was going to get it? Guys, I am in the full belief that Kalen DeBoer, Nick Sheridan and company, Jamarcus Shepard are going to work their whole entire offense. That means sharing the load. This is the SEC season. I think everyone will eat. I think the highest receiver might be around 1,000 yards, but I think most importantly, I think we'll probably see 6 to 7 guys have 5 touchdowns, and we'll see running backs, at least 3 running backs have 8 to 9. That's what I'm going to say about it.
Dan James.
Balance.
Mute. You're on mute.
I'm sorry. I keep doing that. I'm going to echo what Lushawn and Petty said. I don't think so. But my reason is a little different. I think it's more likely we have 2 1,000-yard backs. At least one 1,000-yard receiver. I'm thinking that guy is going to be Jeremy Bernard. But we have 2 1,000-yard receivers. I'm going to tell you 2 things are going to happen. We're going to win the national championship, and Jalen Milroe is going to be the unanimous Heisman Trophy winner. So those 2 things are going to happen. If that happens, we have 2,000-yard receivers. But the reason why I don't think so is just the depth. You know what I'm saying? That we have at wide receiver. The guys that contribute. We got Bernard, Prentice, Law. Ryan Williams, Caleb Odom, Emmanuel Henderson, Amari Jefferson. We have so many, and I think like Petty said, we may have 6 or 7 guys between the 5 to 700-yard receiving total. So definitely 1, but I think 2 is going to be a little stretch.
Okay. Well, Dan, you mentioned, let's go to our next topic. We discussed 2 1,000-yard receivers. Let's talk about, you kind of said we're going to have 2 1,000-yard rushers, and give us your predictions of who those 2 are going to be. And I'll give it to the panel. I go Lushawn, Patty, then Chris.
Okay. Well, I didn't say definitely. I said it's more likely that we have 2 1,000-yard backs. Yeah, but of course, the 2 obvious. We have Jam Miller and Justice Haynes. I think, man, we could easily do that just because of the backs that we have. But You know, they're gonna also have to share the load with Richard Young because he's another impressive specimen. Those three, you know, that's gonna be a three-headed monster.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. So that alone there might prevent us from having 2 1,000-yard backs, you know, because we're gonna have to share the load with 3 guys, you know, and we're gonna be able to ride the hot hand, but definitely 1,000-yard back, but it's a high possibility it could be 2. And those are 3 guys that, you know, the top 2 though, Justice Haynes and Jan Miller, I think they could do it easily.
Chris.
Now you're muted.
You're on mute.
It's gonna be like it was with Bo, Damian Harris, and Josh Jacobs. I think it's gonna be like that when we had those guys, kind of like whoever has a hot hand, that's who we ride with. So, but y'all think about it, it's been a minute since like we've had some acts over the years, but since Najee, we really haven't had that potential, you know, staying out first round guy, and we have that now. I think that Justice Haynes definitely gonna go over 1,000 yards. Like I think this may sound crazy, it may be a little bit homer, but I think he's the best back in the SEC, and he's gonna prove it this fall. And Miller and Richie Young not far behind. I just think that that we're gonna have 3 with over 500 yards rushing. Like we're about to this offense is about to set 2020 Bama numbers. If Milroe has improved like from the spring, like how he did from the season to the spring, and from the spring to the summer, and takes that next step, this offense can do crazy dumb numbers. And I think that's going to happen.
Patty.
Can it? Absolutely. Because you got 4 guys. I think even the freshman Hill could do it if he was the spotlight running back. But I think it's going to take some crazy games by Miller or even Haynes, because I'm like Chris. Haynes is my favorite of the group. But it's going to take some games where one of those guys has multiple 200-plus yard games throughout the season, I think, to break 1,000. Because there's too much talent to not spread it. And I think DeBoer is going to spread the talent. I think he's going to be running back by committee. And Richard Young's too damn much of a beast to keep off the field. So, yeah, can it? Absolutely. You have a couple 200-yard games by Miller or Haynes, and absolutely. But I think you're going to see, you know, 2 900-yard guys and a 700-yard guy in Young, because, God, Young just blew me away. Again, you're not keeping that kid off the field. And Hill's going to get touches. I mean, he's just too good not to in this, even though he's a freshman. He's already built like a kid that's been in the program for 2 years. So, yeah, it can happen, but I'll be honest. If I'm a betting man and you're making me give an answer, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say we're going to have multiple 900-yard guys and a 700-yard guy.
LaShawn.
I don't think I wasn't on mute. I don't think this matters. I think a lot of people take yards into this delusions of grandeur. These things matter. I want touchdowns. That's what I'm worried about. The last couple of years, we've got away with everybody thinking, oh, if you have all these yards, you know, this amazing player. It doesn't mean a daggum thing if you can't cross the pipeline. So to me, it doesn't matter about this 1,000-yard rusher. To me, we're going to have 3 guys with 8+ touchdowns. That's what this means. And like I said in the last segment, we're going to have guys catch touchdowns, because in this defense and this offense, how this is going to relate to each other, there's going to be turnovers. There's going to be short fields. There's going to be instant plays, instant scoring. So all these yards in comparison aren't going to mean anything. Everybody's going to be like, well, he has such and such, 1,000 yards. Okay, we got a guy over here with 9 touchdowns. This other here got 9 touchdowns, and another guy's got 9 touchdowns. And your guy has 4 touchdowns for the season, but he got 1,000 yards. Who's more important? the guy that scored more touchdowns. To me, I'm just saying, is it a game of yards or is it a game of touchdowns? It's a game of touchdowns, guys. Touchdowns win games. Yards, those are just exciting fantasy points, guys.
I like it. And you can break that down to touchdowns as well as touches. I think they'll have about the same amount of touches as well. So, guys, great analysis regarding that topic. Let's go to one of Alabama's bitter rivals, LSU. I wish Ty Hayes was here, but guys, where do y'all stand on LSU? You know, what Joe Muscalina talked bad about Alabama having a SMU transfer quarterback and all this stuff. And then I started off, and it made me think about what quarterback has LSU produced that's not transferred in, that's been successful. So I know Ty Hayes loves this topic. Guys, let's talk about LSU. They lost Jay Daniels, etc. Lushan, I'm going to start with you. Is LSU overhyped?
Is LSU overhyped? Well, I would say I wouldn't say they're overhyped, but I'd say they're absolutely blasted out of proportion. They lose a Heisman winning quarterback, a guy that should have won the Blenikoff, a guy that should have been up for the Blenikoff on the offensive side of the football, and everyone just thinks they're about to just replace all that like it's overnight. I'm not saying LSU doesn't have receivers, because let's face it, that's at least the one thing that can actually do positive in that football program. But on the defensive side, I'm going to echo Ty. Dumpster fire does not even define what that was last year. And yes, did they bring in one of our former aces of a coach? Yes, they did. Does that give me confidence in anything else they brought in? Absolutely not. They got to show me something. This is the SEC. You had Texas and you had Oklahoma. Those are two teams that can expose bad defenses. And I haven't looked at their schedule. I could be blowing this out of proportion. But I'm just saying, LSU, for what they lost, especially on the defensive side of the football, and they didn't really do much in the transfer portal or recruiting. I'm not saying they're overhyped. I'm just saying I'm not worried about a Tiger, regardless of if it's LSU, Auburn, or Clemson. I think the Tigers are irrelevant this year, and I'll stand on that.
Don't forget Missouri too. Dan, discuss LSU and
I said what I said.
Discuss LSU and this topic.
Ditto, Lucian. You know, you lose your three big offensive weapons, and you know that's what was carrying you last year. And I don't see any improvement on defense. So now, you know you're gonna have to. You know, I mean, the offense last year was outstanding, and they were only able to muster 9 wins. What was it? But you know, you lose all that. You lose your three biggest offensive weapons. You know, and your defense. You know, you didn't pick up anybody in the trenches. I don't believe. You know, and you get Corey Raymond back, but you know when Corey Raymond last few years there, you know, the secondary was horrendous. You know. So are they overhyped? Without a doubt. You know, they better be careful. They got a great coach, awesome coach in Brian Kelly. You know, but I'm thinking, you know, LSU is going to fall further back into the pack, you know, with Texas, Oklahoma joining. You know, I like Ole Miss more this year, definitely more. So, you know, you got Bama, Georgia. So 6th best team in the SEC at the least. You know what I'm saying? So I without a doubt, you know, I think LSU will be overhyped.
Chris, K.
At the least or best?
Good point.
Least or best, Dan? I'm saying probably the best.
at best, right.
Overhyped, it depends on your definitions of overhyped. Like challenging for a college football playoff spot, maybe. The 12 seed, 11-10, but as far as like top 4 getting a bye, win the SEC. I don't see it. It's just enough of a conference this year. Offensively, Nussmeier, we saw glimpses of what he's capable of. I think they'll still be rolling offensively, not to the tune of last year, but they'll still be solid. You know what I'm saying? Brian Kelly is a good offensive football coach. Defensively, I think you'll see improvement because you can't be too much worse than what they were last year and still, be coaching college football. That was horrible. So I give them 9 wins, 9-3, 8-4. I think they play Oklahoma. I don't think they play Texas. I'm not sure, but I know they play Oklahoma. So I give them 9. Par course LSU, 9 win LSU. 9-3 regular season type. Fighting for a playoff spot. That's pretty much it. But thinking about it, let's not get it twisted though. LSU is still a thorn in our side. Like they play us. If they played everybody like they play us, they'll win 10-11 every year. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't. I think 9 wins. I think that's that. That's their 8-9, somewhere around there. And if they can get to 10, they're a lot for the playoffs.
Patty,
man, they've got a weird schedule. I do think they're overrated because again, like y'all all talked about, they've lost their Heisman candidate. They always have receivers. Their defense is lost. They didn't know what to do with Harold Perkins, who honestly may be one of the best defensive players in all of the SEC and all of college football, and nobody knows it because they don't know how to use the kid. Just let him rush and dominate, and they didn't do that. But their schedule is kind of wonky and may play into them having a better record than what they actually are. Weirdly, they play both of the big California schools. They open with USC, and then a few weeks later play UCLA. But they don't get Texas. They get Oklahoma. They play on the road at Alabama, which I'm chalking up as a loss. They go to South Carolina, which can get weird. They got Ole Miss at home, at Arkansas, who's going to suck this year. A&M, who knows what they're going to do with their new coach. And then again, Bama at home, on the road against Florida. Florida could be epically bad. Then they get Vanderbilt at home, and then Oklahoma at home. So as much as I don't think they're going to be great, the schedule kind of sets up for the idiots to kind of backdoor into a 9-win season when they probably should be a 7-win team.
I think another word you can add to LSU is delusional. And I'll end it on that. I think they're just in over their heads. So, guys, our last topic. Shifting gears from only
ended and everybody in damn Disney got on the internet. I keep getting hacked out.
Guys, let's shift from on the field to on the court. And I'm going to leave it to Dan, who's our basketball guy, Chris, and Patty. Give us, Oates probably has so much talent. You're looking at Darian Reed and Nas Cunningham and Holloway. Sears is coming back. I think his toughest job is going to predict how he's going to do an 8 to 10-man rotation with this loaded roster. Dan, give us your projections regarding Alabama's 10-man rotation. You're on mute.
Let me tell you, man. I'm glad I don't have to make this decision. We're going to be rotating 13 guys until we get into SEC play, I think. But, definitely Mark Sears, shoe in for a starter. Grant Nelson, shoe in. What's the guy? Cliff, Big Cliff.
Big Cliff, going to be starting.
Yeah. So now, those 3 are shoe ins. Now you're looking to see, that's where it kind of gets fuzzy. But those 3 are the shoe ins to start. All right. So you got Nelson. Is whether or not we're gonna use him at the point. Do we have a guy that we could trust? And I think we do, man, because Aiden Holloway has been looking really good. So if we can get him in and allow Mark Sears to play off the ball, which I think he's best at, I like him there, but also, Wright Sale, he's kind of tricky, but I like Wrightsell off the bench. I don't know. For some reason, I just like him off the bench, what he could do. You know, you want the instant offense, a great shoot off the bench. So, but Youngblood, I think he'll find his way into the rotation, the star rotation. So, you know, just because he's a guy, he's the first thing we went and addressed, you know, was length, be able to have length on the perimeter defensively. So he was the first guy they went after. So that tells me something. I think he's going to be, you know, the fourth starter. So it depends. So I'm gonna go on record as saying, all right, this is a projected rotation for me. I'm gonna say Aiden Holloway, Mark Sears, Youngblood, Grant Nelson, and Big Cliff. Now the second unit is where it gets a little tricky. There, Phylon, what's his name? LeBaron Phylon?
Yeah.
Man, huge pickup, and this guy's been impressive, you know. So we got another ball handler, you know. He's very athletic, you know. Can he protect the ball? You know, that's where you know we struggled at with other guys outside of Sears. So that's why Sears was able to have the ball in his hand so much. So can he be able to protect the ball? That's the question. But the second unit is going to be very deep, you know. So let's say Phylon, of course, Wrightsell, Jaron Stevenson, Aiden Sherrill. Who's the fifth? I guess Houston Millette. So
Reed.
Yeah, so like I said, it gets tricky. You got Houston Mallet, who's got the experience. So you know, it's they'll be battling. Those two will be battling for the 10th spot. So I mean, it's gonna be tough.
I see it different.
Well, go ahead, brother.
Chris.
I see,
rapid fire.
I
Chris.
see it different. I think Mark Sears still gonna stay on the point. I think that, man, when you can put guys who shoot over 43% from three on the court together and have length, Mallet 6'5", Houston Millette 6'5". I like him at the 2. I like Youngblood because he's 6'4", 220. He's a bigger body that can defend on the perimeter. That's what we were missing. Tough, gritty, and he was also the AAC co-player of the year. So somebody that's coming from South Florida, the conference player of the year, they're not coming to sit on the bench, dude. And you have Grant Nelson and Big Clifford. Those are my 5. And then I like Holloway, Wrightsell, Reed, Sherrill, and Stevenson to round out the second unit. But I think you're also gonna see speckles of spots of Phylon, Nas Cunningham, and damn, I left somebody off. Oh, and Diabate. Dan didn't mention Diabate.
Right.
He's a guy. He's a matchup depending on who you're playing. When you're playing those tough, physical, gritty teams, somebody's gonna see a lot of minutes. So he's like a pinch hitter, like somebody off the bench. Depends on
defensive stopper
when you're swinging for the fences. Yeah, like when you're going against those like the grind, like Auburn, those good teams. He's the guy that's gonna see more time, more minutes because he saved us against Grand Canyon and he played good against Charleston. And in North Carolina, was in North Carolina too. Clemson is one of those games that he came up big in that game too. So I just think that right now, I think everybody's gonna play. But like Dan said, when it gets to the SEC season, I think it's gonna dwindle down to like 10, maybe. This like I was talking to Dan last night, and it was a stat that an analytics guy put together. He said that this Alabama team right here. What did I say, Dan? Is the third is seen as the third best team in college basketball the last 20 years.
Yeah.
That is sick. This is coming from an analytics guy. He's not just nobody that's just talking being home. This is somebody that doesn't have nothing to do with Bama. He told Chris Fowler that on paper, this is the third best team in the last 20 years.
That includes last year, UConn, North Carolina teams.
2008, North Carolina.
Teams, Kentucky teams.
with Anthony Davis, that like the third best on paper, and we were saying it, man. Like this had like I really don't see this team like if this team doesn't make another Final Four run, play for a championship, and with a 1 seed, it's gonna be a failure. Because I think that this team has a chance to run away with the SEC this year.
Yeah.
Patty, anything you want to add?
Well, to what the Sears and Roebuck catalog the James brothers just laid out.
Yeah.
No, the only thing I'd add is I think by SEC play, Aiden Holloway will be starting at point guard, and we'll see Sears at the 2 that'll give him more ability to come off the ball and just make more action. And I think Whitesell ends up starting too, just because I don't know. I feel like I think we'll end up seeing Whitesell starting. I disagree with the James guys on that.
No, that's 3 guys around the 6 foot. No, that's not gonna happen. That defeats the purpose of everything he's done.
You got, yeah, but now you got Big Cliff in the paint. You don't. All right, we'll see.
You're right.
We'll see.
You got an eraser. You're right. But you still need that perimeter. You need that length on the perimeter.
Young blood.
Yeah.
Well, listen. Speaking of young blood, Justin.
It just came to me. Petty's outfit, does it not give you Hulk Hogan vibes? Like I feel like any moment, I feel like Petty's going to get just possessed by the spirit of Hulk Hogan, going, "What you gonna do, brother? When Petty Mania runs wild over you, dude." I feel it coming, Van. What do you think?
However, I've gone too bougie. If I rip this Lululemon shirt,
you can go for the Macho Man too.
Lululemon shirt.
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. Hey, how your boy used to do it? Let me tell you, Mean Gene.
Too bougie to rip.
Macho Man.
Yeah.
Bougie tank tops, fellas.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, there's only one man that can rise above the rest. Not like that guy Hulk Hogan who cut those in grandstands. The Macho Man Randy Savage is the #1 guy on all lists. Never to be misunderstood or mistaken. Yeah. The madness is always in a galaxy of his own.
Brother,
I like it.
brother. But when all the Hulkamaniacs have taken their vitamins, the celebrities.
Petty up that look like Barry Windle that got possessed by Hulk. You remember Barry Windle?
Again, I'll be autographing headbands later. Send them out to the 100th sign up for farmersonly.com.
Petty might be wearing leotards from the waist down.
I ain't got nothing on from the waist down.
Talking about a cold summer.
Oh, boy,
Dude, we're in Disney. I'm straight Donald Duck.
Oh, Lord. This man, Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh just had on a T-shirt. That was it.
Oh, man.
That's it. No pain.
Cold summer. Hashtag cold summer, guys. But, guys, let's go ahead and wrap it up.
Get a light, man.
This has been a great show. We do want to remind you that we always like to say that the Bama Standard Network has plenty of other shows. Tomorrow, Wednesday night, you have the Crimson Dynasty starring our one and only Final Wilson Dan, Hannah Stevens, and Cici Payne. It's on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Central. Then after that, you have T's Take, legendary Dallas Cowboy, George T. Right after that at 8:15 on Wednesday, and Saturday night talking Bama football, 8:30 p.m. Central on Saturday. So listen, like I said, you got those are 3 shows that are great on the Bama Standard Network. So guys, Patty, how can they find you? Will you be at WrestleMania? Where are you starting? We're going to start with you.
I mean, so many places, parlors in Lee County,
Parliament,
wrestling pythons in the Everglades, selling, doing what I do. Impersonating wrestlers on the side of the road for money. And on Tuesday nights, you can catch me on the Final Whistle with all these beautiful Avengers.
Let's go.
Petty Gump.
Lucian.
Well, You know, you can find me at Roloose21 on X. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. Lucian Graves, always sharing something, Alabama football, updating recruiting, because it's going to be a cold summer. But I like the cold, and I'm pretty sure everybody in T-Town does too. So stay tuned. But most importantly, guys, you can find me on Tuesdays right here on the Bama Standard YouTube channel, 8 p.m. Central, with the final whistle, me and my Avengers, and Dan James is our leader. He's Batman, ladies and gentlemen. And just come, join. And this is a special message out to Auburn fans. You need to back up your boy Chris Williams. We want to have one of y'all on the show for the future. Just saying.
Gotta get them from the farmersonly.com website. Dan, how can they find you? You're on mute.
Oh, right here, this very channel, every Tuesday night with this show, man, with this awesome Avengers cast that was handpicked by our leader. Right here, final whistle, every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Catch me here on this very same channel on Wednesday nights. The Crimson Dynasty with my co-host, C.C. Payne, Hannah Stevens. Catch me on X at the Final Whistle Dan. And also, you can find me in the
That man said,
Dan, half our fan base isn't old enough to know what that means.
You know what? You're right. I forgot. But the boy bringing them in now.
The boy bringing them in.
Yeah.
Like, I want to make
Trophies.
Chris, how can they find you?
I'm simple, man. Find me on Facebook, Chris K. James Sr., on X at Coach Chris James, and on Instagram at The Final Whistle Chris. And you can find me here every Tuesday night, making this group look good around me. You know what I'm saying?
Next time leave them bubble goods.
Whoa.
Is that a shower curtain behind you?
Time out. Chris.
Hey, man, with that being said, gotta go.
He recording
Making us look good? Making us look good? Shoot.
Well, listen.
Anybody come to see you, Otis?
Listen, we like to end the show on those two words.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, roll.
Roll.
Hurry up.
Bama blitz.
But the Tide.
Petty just stood up.